So headlining this event for the light heavyweight world championship, Jiri Prochazka, Alex Pereira. Here we go. Let me set this up. Jiri Prochazka, the Samurai. His nickname is BJP. Do we know what this stands for? Anybody?
I have no idea. I will look it up.
Prochazka is the 31-year-old out of Czech Republic. His pro MMA record stands at 29-3 with one draw. Only one of his wins has gone to the scorecards. The other 28 are all finishes, 3 of them submissions, and 25 of them are knockouts. All 3 of his losses, he has been finished, knocked out twice, and submitted once. And he's coming off of the title victory over Pereira's teammate and friend Glover Teixeira back in June of 2022. A 5-round war that ended finally with a rear naked choke victory for Prochazka. He'll be standing across from Alex Pereira, Poatan, the 36-year-old out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. His MMA record stands at 8-2 with 6 knockout victories. He's been finished twice, himself knocked out once, and submitted once. The knockout came in his rematch, his MMA rematch against Israel Adesanya. And then he moved up to 205, and he got a split decision victory over Jan Blachowicz back in July of this year. Omar, go first. Give us your take and your pick of this incredible lightweight title fight.
Real quick, the nickname stands for something I'm not going to pronounce, but directly translated seems to be bomb the shit out of them or big fucking bombs, apparently.
Wow.
His nickname should be The Last Samurai, and I will hear nothing else about it.
Well, whatever whatever BJP means or is pronounced in his, what I'm assuming is his native tongue.
Check.
Yeah, seems to be big fucking bombs. So there's that.
Okay.
As far as this fight is concerned, this is a wild ass fight. I don't really know which way to go. It's really difficult for me to pick against Jiri Prochazka though, man. He's really nasty. He's really good. And the mentality that dude brings into the cage is something that you have to take into consideration. And it's not to say Alex Pereira doesn't have the mental fortitude to be in there, but Jiri is almost crazy when it comes to that. So I think it's going to be a well-fought fight. I don't think anyone... I'm not wholly convinced that somebody's going to end up knocked out here. At least not put to sleep. I could see probably some leg kicks coming into play later on in the fight. But I do think this is probably going to go quite a bit. So I'm going to go with Jiri Prochazka here by unanimous decision.
You're going with Prochazka by UD. Wow, interesting. I will go next. Unless, Mark, you want to just give me the odds first. Give the odds out there before I go.
Sure. Sorry, I'm recording Omar's pick. The odds. It's another one that's basically a pick 'em. Slight favorite is Pereira. He is minus 120.
Wow.
And Prochazka even money, plus 100.
I would have thought that Prochazka would have been the favorite, or a slight favorite.
Considering he's already been the fucking champion of that division. Yeah, same.
I probably would have too.
All right.
I've been thinking a lot about this fight the past couple of days. Every time I see ads for it and stuff and promotional stuff, I'm like, fuck, I have to pick this fight on the show.
I haven't watched the countdown yet. I really got
Me either. It's such a good, these are such good fights on this main card. Really good fights.
Yeah. I want to go with Prochazka. Stylistically, I don't know if Pereira has faced somebody as sort of unorthodox and dangerous as Prochazka in this way. But I can't help but think about is Prochazka's fight with Glover. And Glover had Prochazka in some real trouble in that fight. Remember we were saying the irony of that title fight was that who would have thought that it was Glover who almost finished Prochazka with strikes, and it was Prochazka who ended up finishing Glover with a submission.
Yep.
But that's what I mean by the mental fortitude, right? Like, Prochazka could get fucked up at some point through a number of sequences in this fight coming up. Alex Pereira is definitely liable to make, Prochazka feel something. But Prochazka is not, he's not out of there, man. Unless he is put to sleep, that dude is going to keep coming for your face. And it makes it a big issue.
What's haunting me and giving me a lot of pause, though, is I keep thinking if Alex Pereira gets Prochazka hurt like that, he's going to finish him. It's not going to go like it did with Glover. Mm-hmm. Which is why it's just such a fucking coin flip to me. It really is. I could see either one of these guys catching the other one and finishing him. And I'm just going to go with the more chaotic and unorthodox guy in Prochazka, as opposed to Pereira's more kind of straightforward Muay Thai kickboxing approach. So give me Prochazka by knockout. I'll say it comes in the middle in mid-fight. I'll say round 3.
You said Prochazka by knockout?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, down to me. So, yeah, I gave you the odds. 1 inch of height for Pereira. The reach is the same. Also having an incredibly hard time picking this fight. I could see it play out in a handful of different ways. I do think a man falls down to end this. I don't think it's going to see the cards. And I do think if this was an active and healthy Jiri entering this fight, I would probably lean toward him. Just the unorthodox striking that's different than what Pereira's having to look at, his pace and how high it is, and that I trust his cardio to be there as we hit the later rounds more than I trust Pereira's to be there because of having to deal with the pace that Jiri pushes, his ability to mix in the grappling. I think all that would have pushed me toward Jiri. But he's coming off what was described as the worst shoulder injury ever. And we haven't seen him since. So I have a little concern about that. And then he hasn't fought in a long-ass time. He's coming in with zero rhythm, no warm-up fight, nothing. And Alex has been very active. So with that being the case, I'm kind of coming where I slightly lean toward Alex, or Lex, I guess I should be saying. Because as we know, Jiri, and Mike kind of just said the same thing, Jiri presents openings with the way that he fights. He is there to be hit. He has been hit by plenty of guys. And if he isn't on his perfect usual rhythm, if it takes him a bit to get going, whatever it may be, I think Alex is a guy who can take advantage of that. All of the clean technique is on the Pereira side in this fight. He's the one, to me, that's more likely to find holes in the defense of the other as the fight goes on and reads are made, and I just think Jiri probably has more holes. I understand, like even I just said, for Pereira, it's going to be an adjustment of, like, this dude doesn't fight the way dudes are supposed to fight in terms of the strikes. So it's going to be an adjustment for him, too. And if I'm Jiri's team, I'm encouraging the grappling because we saw how well he did there against Glover, who's a great grappler, and I absolutely think he should explore it here, maybe even early, to get himself warmer in that fight before he has to deal with Pereira's strikes. But Pereira did well defending against Jan, and he's more acclimated to 205 now. And then throw in that he trains with Glover, who you got to think is sharing a lot of insight after those epic 25 minutes that he went through with Jiri. So, I don't know. I think it's an absolute toss-up of a fight. Like I said, I think a healthy, active Jiri, I would have gone that way just on the pace and maybe Pereira tiring. But I don't think I'm gonna trust an inactive post-injury Jiri in such a close fight. So I'm gonna say Alex finds a shot in the earlier half of the fight. I'll say early round 3 TKO for Alex Pereira.